Hello, my friends. Today we'll start with a very interesting statement from Trump. He claimed to have spoken with Putin, and at first everyone assumed it was about the plane crash in Washington. However, he clarified that the conversation was about something else.
Have I spoken to President Putin?
I have not, no.
Mr. President,
Not about this.
He didn't specify what exactly they discussed. Hopefully, it was about ending the war in Ukraine, but we're still waiting for any official statements on the matter. On the front lines, the situation is improving in some areas and worsening in others. So there is a lot of news to cover. Let's start with the Pokrovsk direction, where Ukrainian forces have successfully pushed Russian troops back from the village of Udachne. In recent days, Russian forces had been complaining about Ukrainian counterattacks, preventing them from advancing further. Today, we are seeing successful Ukrainian progress, which is encouraging. Meanwhile, fighting is still ongoing near Kotlyne, where Ukrainian forces are heavily targeting Russian troops and launching counterattacks. This suggests that Ukraine is taking action to prevent Russian from encircling Pokrovsk. However, Russian aviation is increasingly striking Pokrovsk with guided bombs. Yesterday evening, reports indicated 10 airstrikes. The city of Biletske has also been targeted, and shelling of Hryshyne has been reported. Overall, the situation is worsening, and Ukraine's frontline areas remain vulnerable to Kiev strikes since the long awaited F 16s have yet to provide air defense. In the Kurakhove direction, the situation favors Russian forces. They have managed to break through near Andriivka, gaining partial control of the village. They have also taken part of Udachne, where fighting continues. Additionally, Russian troops are advancing toward Ulakly, storming Konstantynopol and Rozlyv, effectively putting Ukrainian forces at risk of encirclement. There is no information yet about orders to retreat. Meanwhile, Russian forces are attempting to break through to Kotlyne and continue shelling Novopavlivka. Just recently, they captured Nadezhdenka, and now, without taking a pause, they continue advancing. This once again confirms that they have sufficient reserves and are in a hurry to achieve more territorial gains. At the same time, former Ukrainian presidential press secretary Iuliia Mendel has called for an urgent ceasefire, warning that the war is exhausting Ukraine. Ukraine needs an immediate truce. The war is draining us completely, she wrote in the article for The Times. She argues that Ukraine NATO membership prospects are becoming increasingly distant, while the country is losing its nation in other ways through refugees, casualties among civilians and military personnel, and the destruction of cities and infrastructure. According to her, high-level ceasefire negotiations are already taking place from Washington to Brussels. Even an imperfect truce is not a concession, but a chance to survive and strengthen our defenses. Let's take this difficult path not as a surrender, but as necessary step to secure Ukraine's future. We owe it to our nation, to those who have fallen, and to those who will inherit the Ukraine we are fighting to protect. While no one dares to say the word surrender, it's clear that many understand the critical nature of the situation. In the Velyka Novosilka area, Russian forces are storming Novochertovate and shelling positions along the front line. However, there have been no changes, and the situation remains stable over the past 24 hours. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the front is relatively calm, periodic shelling is recorded, but no offensive actions are being carried out by Russian forces. In the Kherson direction, Russian forces continue shelling the right bank, but no new attempts to advance onto the islands have been recorded. The situation remains unchanged over the past 24 hours. In the Toretsk direction, Russian forces are trying to advance near Krymsk and Toretsk, but the Ukrainian forces are launching counterattacks to halt their progress. After capturing Toretsk, Russian troops are now aiming to push toward Konstantinivka. In the Chasiv Yar direction, Russian forces continue pushing into the city, assaulting Stupochki and Novomarkove. They have also intensified shelling of Konstantinivka and Kramatorsk and other settlements. However, over the past 24 hours, they haven't made any advances as the Ukrainian forces continue to repel attacks. In the Siversk direction, Russian troops are attempting to advance near Verkhnyokamensky, but haven't achieved any success. The front line remains unchanged over the past day. In the Lyman direction, Russian forces are storming Novolyubivka, attempting to break through to Zelena Dolina, and fighting continues for Yampolivka and Zarychne. However, despite high activity, there have been no new advances in the past 24 hours. In the Burova direction, Russian troops are pushing forward near Lozova, assaulting Kopanki and Novoyegorivka, with battles are ongoing south of Makiyivka. However, there have been no changes to the front line in the past day. In the Kupiansk direction, Russian forces continue storming Petropavlivka and advancing toward Novoosinovo, while battles are ongoing for Kolesnikivka. Russian activity has increased, but they haven't achieved any success in the past 24 hours, and the front line remains unchanged. Near Dvorichna, no new Russian assaults have been recorded, and the situation has stabilized for now. In the Kharkiv direction, Russian forces continue shelling, but no offensive actions have been recorded. Near Vovchansk, the situation has also stabilized, with no new assaults recorded. In the Kursk direction, the Russian counteroffensive has significantly stalled. They are now conducting fewer than 10 assaults per day, and for over a week they have made no advances. However, shelling of the Sumy region has increased in recent days. Meanwhile, foreign media warn that if the US stops supporting Ukraine, Russia could advance even faster. Russia will capture Kyiv and Lviv by 2026 if the US holds aid to Ukraine, the Hill reports. According to the analysis, in 2025, Russia would gain ground as Ukraine runs out of weapons. By 2026, Ukraine would lose effective air defense, allowing Russia to conduct continuous large-scale bombings. Ukrainian forces will continue fighting bravely, but would likely collapse by the end of the year, enabling Russia to seize Kyiv and advance towards NATO's border. After that, Russia will rebuild its military units, exploit Ukraine's resources, and position its forces along NATO's border, preparing for further aggression beyond Ukraine by 2030. The outlook is grim. What do you think about this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.